All right, good morning. I'm going to turn things over to Captain Colwell.
Good morning, everybody. Captain Mike Colwell, the investigations commander. I'm just here this morning to give a brief update in regards to the homicide over the weekend. On November 23rd at 12:48 a.m., basically Saturday morning, the police department was sent to the 500 block of South Duluth Avenue for a stabbing. While officers were en route to that location, the victim in this case was actually being driven by his friends to a local hospital where unfortunately he did die as a result of his injuries. The victim in this case is Aidan, A-I-D-A-N, Ray, R-A-Y, Quickbear, Q-U-I-C-K-B-E-A-R. Aidan is a 25-year-old Sioux Falls resident. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to offer a lot of information in regards to the case because it's so early in the investigation. But what I can say is that the autopsy is being performed today, and that we have recovered some evidence that we are taking out to the South Dakota State Lab today to process in regards to the crime. We spent a lot of time this weekend interviewing witnesses and friends in regards to the incident. And I feel like we're in a strong position in regards to this case, but there have not been any charges as of yet.
What's the next step?
I would say next steps are happening currently. We're meeting with the Minnehaha County State's Attorney's Office to go over the details of the case. I would expect within the next few days that hopefully we will be in position to make an arrest. And then we'll proceed from there. It depends on the turnaround time on some of the evidence in the state lab. Could be a factor for us, but they have been historically fantastic when we have a big case here in Sioux Falls at making sure that we're a priority.
Do we know where the incident took place or how
Took place in
long
the
it was before this person's? Oh yeah, never mind. He was on his way to the hospital. Sorry.
it took place in the parking lot in the roughly the 500 block of South Duluth.
So there were a lot of witnesses or multiple?
I would say there was a few witnesses, not a lot.
Was this domestic?
Not sure of the nature of the relationship between the suspect and the victim at this time.
Did the witnesses know the suspect and the victim, or
The witnesses knew the victim.
the victim?
Has a person of interest been identified?
We do have a person of interest at this time. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Thanks, Ed. Thanks.
Okay, on the log, I don't really have much other than what Captain covered. The aggravated assaults, most of those are domestics, and we had somebody that was threatened with a gun, but no serious injuries from any of those. There's an arson on the log. That was a house fire. We still haven't quite determined if that was in fact an arson or not, but it's just basically just kind of opening that case just in case, open the case. Anyway, so our fire inspectors will do some more looking into that along with our arson detectives to try to make that determination, but it's basically almost a holding case at this point, or a placeholder, I should say. Nothing big from the burglaries, nothing big out of the disorderlies. Everything else is pretty much reports. There was a couple of robberies. One of them was Sunday evening. A guy was threatened with a knife, had his cell phone taken. He was not injured. The second was, I guess, an attempt. A man was pushed to the ground, and the suspect wanted his wallet, but the victim didn't have a wallet, so he left without anything. So no injuries from that. Sex offenses are all reports. Nothing suspicious with any of the unattended deaths, and nothing concentrated with the vandalisms.
Any updates on any of the other homicides? Weathersby?
No, nothing new yet with Weathersby's case. No updates with any of the other homicides.
And then, do you have any updates on the 40-person Tacoma accident?
I don't. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more. those types, so that was the fatal crash, or I guess that was, I don't remember if
41st and Sertoma.
yeah, was that just serious injuries? I can't remember. I was gone then.
That was the one by the high school, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was a fatal or just
No, no.
serious injuries, so, those investigations typically take a while. I haven't heard anything about that, that's not terribly unusual. I'll have to do some checking to see if there's anything new with that, but. Anything else?
You know, we've had a lot of homicides this year. Any indication of what's going on, or?
No, yeah, this is number 14, so this would be, I guess, a record number of homicides that we've had. The previous record was 13. Some of these can be explained, different things, different type of domestic relations, but there's really no rhyme or reason to these homicides. There's not one common thread that we could say this is why all of these are happening. And when detectives investigate these homicides, each one is investigated on its own. So we're not necessarily looking at other homicides, comparing them. We just have to take them as they come. And could be any number we've seen a wide variety of reasons, and I guess the why, I don't have an answer to that. Anything else? Okay.
Can you run
Oh.
down what homicide you're talking about? Like, can you go through, do you have a list? Because we have 12.
Are you counting the two justifiable homicides?
Which ones are those?
That was at the gas station at 41st and Sertoma. That was the motorcyclist and the couple of guys with baseball bats. There's no charges associated with that one because that was determined to be a justifiable homicide, but it was still a homicide, so it still counts as our numbers as homicides. I would guess that's probably the one that you, since if you're off by 2. I can run you through that stuff later, though. I don't have that stuff with me available, but. Anything else? Okay, thanks.